So I was just thinking about being accepting with who I am as an individual. I was I'm perplexed with the YouTube algorithm um, because I think I'm one of the only scholars, sort of researchers that are contributing on a regular basis, on a very regular basis, to sort of social media in this sort of way. Um, and particularly that's in a business school and sort of whatever, like moving up within the scholarly system, and I contribute a lot. But the algorithm, quote unquote algorithm, doesn't necessarily sort of promote some of the stuff that I have been doing compared to other folks that are not within the sort of same domain. And it's kind of a curious thing, right? And I think, it's absolutely fair because what ends up happening is that those people worked a lot on their videos, right? And made them sort of very attractive, or they themselves were very attractive, and um, it comes across as people wanting to sort of listen to these particular messages and things like that. But the irony is, or the interesting thing is the reason why I don't spend a great deal of time sort of building up a lot of the stuff that I have, and is because I am actually doing the real thing. I'm actually going through and being a researcher, being an active, very active researcher, being a very active, um, you know, professor. I teach, I do all sorts of things. And yet it's interesting because the algorithm sort of doesn't reward that. And even within my domain in sort of research and stuff, the I often feel that much of the sort of efforts that I do doesn't necessarily get rewarded, right? And I can't change any of that kind of stuff. I can't change to make, my videos to go like a lot more viral or whatever. I can't do a lot of that kind of stuff. But what I can do is I could just accept who I am, given that I have actually limitations. We only have so much that we can possibly do. I do this a lot, as those people that are sort of following along on this podcast, um, and following along in other areas, you'll see I'm like all over the place, as much as I humanly possibly can. And I'm always trying to reassure you, tell you that you're normal in various different ways. But I'm really talking to myself, and I want other people to sort of see that positive self-talk is really, really important, um, and that you only have so much. There's only so much that you could do. The reason why I don't use I've got a development team working on the platform, work building it out. But the reason why I don't use a development team, I have a development team in India, and that they English is not their first language. And the reason why I don't use a development team in Silicon Valley is because I can't afford it. I don't have those resources to do that stuff. The price of a Silicon Valley engineer, software engineer, is actually more than what I actually make on a given basis. Um, which is ironic because I was an engineer when in my undergrad, and I would have been making far more than what I make doing the sort of professor gig. Um, there's lots of things that are like that. You only have so many resources. Um, I can't make my videos, I can't make them, have a bunch of props. I can't do what Mr. Beast does. And even on this podcast, I can't put in the whole infrastructure. I can't dedicate a whole room in my house to have a podcasting setup that is super high quality. I don't have the time. I truly don't have the time. I do this and all of the sort of cracks of my life where I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can actually be spending some time doing this and building something, but I don't have the time to dedicate to building this out in a dedicated fashion. And I think that's another sort of important thing that I want you to know is that don't let the minimal amount of resources that you have, and we always have minimal amount of resources. We always are resource constrained. That is human. That is an organism, right? That is what we do. We never have enough resources. We always want more. We always believe that we want more. And frankly, we probably do, right? We probably do need more resources in most of things of our life to make our, um, to make our life more entertaining, to make our work more fulfilling, to have a better family life. We probably do need more resources than what we actually have. And how you actually do this is you don't worry about what you don't have. You look at what you actually have and you just use that. And you realize that, man, this is not perfect. Right? I know if I had a podcasting setup that the audio quality and then I had an editor that went through and cut out the ums and ahs, that the audio quality would be amazing compared to what this is. But this is what I have. And when you become okay with this is what I have, and you still do it anyways, that's when you actually get things done. That's when you actually start being like, okay, I'm just gonna get her done. And I think that's an important part of realizing don't let anything hold you back in any sort of way. And I wish everybody can hear this lesson. Is don't let the things that you don't have hold you back. Just keep going. Take that step. It's going to look always silly and all this kind of stuff. But the thing is, here, this might become a new genre, for example, of people driving in and, driving into their work and sort of talking to people, and that might become a thing, right? And you don't know what those particular things are going to be or how that's going to work out. The only way that you can actually figure this out, it's not going to be something that's going to jump out at you at the beginning, but it's just going to gradually happen. And just like everything else, the only way that you can get something to actually happen is if you try, you do it, and you just keep working at it. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. And by the way, keep taking those steps one more day. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You can do a lot in your life. You just simply have to just start doing it, looking silly. All right, take care.